Welcome. Thank you for lending an ear to the Voice of the Times for Friday, July 2, 2021. For today's editorial, The New Cold War. Russia's Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping have announced that their countries are building an alliance that will promote a more just and democratic international order, defend common interests on the international stage, and continue to practice true multilateralism. The emergence of a Moscow-Beijing bloc comes just weeks after the Group of Seven, or G7, unveiled its Build Back Better World, or B3W plan, which will offer infrastructure ventures with developing nations. The B3W is the G7's response to China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, which seeks to expand China's political influence in Asia, Africa, and Europe by building schools, roads, bridges, and similar projects in countries struggling with economic adversity. Since then, Russia has indicated it is ready to be a key player in the new geopolitical landscape. Putin has held several summits with Xi to make sure the US and its allies get the message that they will be going up against a formidable partnership. Russia needs a prosperous and stable China, and China needs a strong and successful Russia. China and Russia regard each other as priority partners, a statement issued after the most recent Putin-Xi summit said. The more turbulent the world, the more it is necessary for China and Russia to strengthen strategic cooperation, it added. As the rhetoric between the two blocs heats up, the world will inevitably be drawn into a new Cold War. After the close of the Second World War II in 1945, the tenuous relationship between what was then the Soviet Union and the US-led Allied forces quickly began to fray. The US had always expected that the Soviets would go on a land-grabbing spree in Eastern Europe as part of Stalin's expansionist plan. True enough, the Soviets began to install left-wing governments in countries they had liberated from Nazi Germany. To protect the rest of Europe from Soviet intrusion, the US launched the Marshall Plan, a huge post-war aid program to prop up Western-leaning states. The lines were drawn and the Cold War began, a state of rising and ebbing tensions between the West and the Soviet bloc. The political, economic, and military rivalry lasted close to 5 decades. It peaked several times, the worst being the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, when the world stood on the brink of a nuclear war. The Cold War thawed out in 1991 with the collapse of the Soviet Union. Russia became a confederation and lost much of its political clout and economic vigor. Under Putin, Russia has dramatically recovered, and by re-establishing linkages with China, it feels it is ready for a face-off with the West. The old Cold War was driven mainly by ideology. In the new Cold War, the rival blocs will be fighting for economic and technological supremacy. Both B3W and BRI are geared toward this objective. The new Cold War will also be fought in the global digital ecosystem, where China has made big strides. Control of the digital realm has become crucial since the threat of cyber attacks has intensified. The two blocs will be in a race to win over as many developing countries to their side, not only to widen their sphere of influence, but to create emerging markets as well. As a new world order emerges, the Philippines will be forced to make some tough decisions. In the past, we had sided almost unquestioningly with the US. America has long been a mentor, protector, and trusted ally. But the balance of power in the region has shifted, and China is making trade, industrial, and cultural overtures to the country that are difficult to ignore. In making a decision, our leaders must make sure that our independence will not be compromised, that the country is not reduced to a subservient state. There will be sacrifices, but we must always take the high ground. It's the only way we can earn the world's respect. And that's the editorial for July 2, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to its digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.